Hi guys, I don't know what happened. I got this thing in the middle of doing the first live video that says that the live video had stopped. I have no idea what happened, but this is part two. Again, I am AnneHumphrey from the Science of Getting Rich Mindset and Mastermind group right here in Facebook. For all of you who are watching in replays, please be able to share your comments below, post them below. This is part two of chapter 12. I have already read chapter 12 and I was in the middle of sharing some of the thoughts that permeated and penetrated through my soul. So I'm going to get right back to it. For all of you who are watching on YouTube, please be sure to subscribe to the All Show channel. Hit the subscribe button and also hit the bell so you will know when I have uploaded another video. And to all my Instagrammers and to my Twitterers, thank you for following, thank you for looking, and thank you for sharing. So let me go back into it because, as I said, I had some type of disconnect, but that's okay. Again, this is, as I always like to do, The Science of Getting Rich right here by Mr. Wallace D. Wattles. Mr. Wallace D. Wattles, The Science of Getting Rich right there. And I was reading, I've already read chapter 12. Okay, there's chapter 12. All right. So chapter 12, I have already read. For those of you who are looking at this video, be sure to look at the first video. Okay, this is part two, where I am highlighting some of the things that permeated and penetrated with me most during this read. Okay, so as I was reading before, let me go back. And this is the area in which I'm reading from. I always like to show it. You see the last two paragraphs in my book? That's where I'm going at, the last two paragraphs in the book, where it starts off, it says the cause of failure, right there, the cause of failure, okay? All right, so the cause of failure is doing too many things in an inefficient manner and not doing enough things in an efficient manner. You will see that it is a self-evident proposition that if you do not do any inefficient acts, and if you do a sufficient number of efficient acts, you will become rich. If now it is possible for you to make each act an efficient one, you see again that getting of the riches is reduced to an exact science, like mathematics. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, that is a mouthful right there. Like that can be just a book all within itself. I mean, Mr. Wallace D. Wattles, quite frankly, this man was ahead of his time. That's why I love him so, because everything that he says, if you continue to study this book, if you continue to read this book and allow the book to read you, you will begin to see things, even if you don't understand everything right at first read. It doesn't matter. This is not a race. This is a marathon for you to be able to constantly be a good steward and study the work. And then eventually you will start being the work, being the science. And then after that, then you will walk like the science. You will begin to think like the science. You will begin to manifest like the science. So once again, that there was a wowzer, okay? A wowzer, for sure, for sure. Something else I like to share is, he says so much here. But one of the things that he stood out, again, sounds like a commandment, do every day all that you can do that day, and do each act in an efficient manner. Hello. I mean, look here. Look. You see there where I got my little zigglies, my little wigglies right there? Yeah. This is why I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen, it's almost like it's a commandment of some sort. Here it is. He says, do every day all that you can do that day, and do each act in an efficient manner. Wow, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, as I constantly read this, I say that Mr. Wallace D. Wattles, he was writing commandments, because this is just so profound, so proficient, so efficient, and just so clear. My God. Now, there's another area I love, and I'm going to read. And right after that, he says, and saying that you must hold your vision while you are doing each act, however trivial or commonplace. I do not mean to say that it is necessary at all times to see the vision distinctly to its smallest details. It should be the work of your leisure hours to use your imagination on the details of your vision, and to contemplate them until they are firmly fixed upon memory. If you wish speedy results, spend practically all your spare time in this practice. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, he gives you the blueprint. Hello, he's giving you the blueprint right here. I like to show it. It's the second paragraph from the last paragraph on the page. Can't you see that? Right there where it says, and saying that you must hold your vision. Right there, ladies and gentlemen. Right there. I just love that. Again, that whole entire paragraph can be an entire book, because you can uncover it. You can pull back the layers. And even when you pull back the layers, there are more layers. This is the reason why it is very important that we follow the blueprint that Mr. Wallace D. Wattles put in place. And I'm going to read that again after I go over a couple more things in chapter 12 that stood out to me. So in the end, as he's finishing up the chapter, he says, let us again repeat our syllabus. And by slightly changing the closing statements, bring it to the point we have now reached. There is a thinking stuff from which all things are made, and which, in its original state, permeates, penetrates, and fills the interspaces of the universe. A thought in this substance produces the thing that is imagined by thought. Man can form things in his thought, and by impressing his thought upon formless substance, can cause the thing he thinks about to be created. In order to do this, man must pass from the competitive to the creative mind. He must form a clear mental picture of the things he wants, and do, with faith and purpose, all that can be done each day doing each separate thing in an efficient manner. Now, I don't know, ladies and gentlemen, if in your book, yours is bold, like the way you see here in my book, okay? I just read all of that right there, right there. Hello, this is so fantastic. You gotta love Mr. Wallace D. Wattles. You've got to love Mr. Wallace D. Wattles. And as I said in part one, for all of you who are watching this either in replay or on YouTube or on Instagram or Twitter, please feel free to share what penetrated, permeated with you in this chapter. Chapter 12, you gotta read it. And you can't read it once, you can't read it twice, you can't read it 3 times. You have to be a constant, ongoing student of learning, because there is definitely a science he uncovered. And he did not, Mr. Wallace D. Wattles did not expect for us to be able to get it all in one take. This is the reason why we have to read this every single day. And this is the reason why this book, ladies and gentlemen, right here, this book, ladies and gentlemen, must become your companion. And so I like to share with you where he specifically gives the blueprint. Now, ladies and gentlemen, he shares lots of blueprints, but this blueprint I love so much because he shares in here exactly what we must do, how we must do it, why we must keep this a constant companion, because there's no other way to do it, okay? If you're wanting to really master this, you got to do things in a certain way. And in order for you to get the results, in order for you to really see what Mr. Wallace D. Wattles was saying, you've got to follow this to the letter. You know, ladies and gentlemen, it's up to you. But this is something that I'm doing. And for everyone that's in this Mindset Mastermind group, you know, as you already know, that I will be having another video session where I'm going to want everyone in the group to be able to participate. I know you guys are busy. I know you guys are in different time zones. However, we are really creating a mastermind within a mastermind. And the reason why this is so important is because, as I said, in my wildest vision, I really see that the 7 of you, because I made 8, if I'm not mistaken, it's 7 of you that's in this group right now, and I make number 8, is that I really do believe if we really take this very seriously and study it and become it, that we, within this mastermind, we're going to do something so magnificent, so grand, so beyond even our mind space, that I predicted that Mr. Mark Zuckerberg from Facebook himself is going to contact us and say, what in the heck are you guys doing over there? Because you guys are causing a global vibrational stir. And we're going to maybe tell Mr. Mark Zuckerberg and every other person who asked what we did. We rolled up our sleeves, we got in the trenches, and we became this science. So, in this chapter here, in chapter 10, further use of the will, Mr. Wallace D. Wattles, he shares exactly what we must do. Of course, he says it all throughout the book, but in chapter 10, he really goes through it and he shares. You see there, chapter 10, chapter 10, chapter 10. Okay, and I'm going to show it to you here because it is important. It is imperative that in order for this mastermind to work, We must do what Mr. Wallace D. Wattles says. It is imperative, it is important. In order for this science to work in our lives, we must do what Mr. Wallace D. Wattles said. I mean, he's the one who figured it out that there is a science to getting rich. So let me read what he said in chapter 10. He says, read this book every day. Keep it with you. Commit it to memory. And do not think about other systems and theories. If you do, you will begin to have doubts and to be uncertain and wavering in your thought. And then you will begin to make failures. After you've made good and become rich, you may study other systems as much as you please. But until you are quite sure that you have gained what you want, do not read anything on this line but this book, unless it be the authors mentioned in the preface. So he makes it quite clear, ladies and gentlemen, on what we must do. I am AnneHumphrey, the creator, facilitator of the Science of Getting Rich Mindset and Mastermind group. We're here on Facebook. If you'd like to join us, and if you're seeing this video on the All Show page on YouTube, I will have all the links below, and you feel free to join us. In the meantime, thank you for joining me tonight, and get prepared for chapter 13. Continue to read your books every day. Let these words of Mr. Wallace D. Wattles permeate and penetrate through your soul. Become the science. Live the science. Be the science. You know, because other people will say, hey, something's going on over there. What are they doing? Listen, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. I am AnneHumphrey. Thank you for joining me tonight. Have a fantastic, fantastic evening. Good night. Wow.